Hello world, I am Victor and this is the new work times. My final project to finish the CS50 course at Harvard University. The whole project was created with HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and I also used the Bootstrap framework to create components and stylize the project. The name, as you can see, is a parody of the New York Times newspaper. The whole project was created to refer to a newspaper page, to bring this concept of a newspaper into the project itself. Now, I will introduce a little bit of the project to you. In this first card we have a mini calendar. Here we have the day of the week, the month, the day of the month and the year. The time is according to the time of your machine. And here he is polite, he says good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is. Here we have the Pomodoro technique, which is a productivity technique, where you do a certain exercise for 25 minutes and when you finish, you take a short break of 5 minutes and after a cycle that repeats 4 times, you take a longer break of 10 minutes. Here we also have settings, where the person can set according to their need, for example 30 minutes, 7 minutes a short break and 15 minutes a longer break. Here we give auto start for at the end of each time it automatically goes to the next session. And here we set the volume of the audible alarm, we save and it already changes automatically. In this third card we have some newspapers. Actually the inspiration came because of the Lab 10 that we had during the course. I didn't know what to put here and that's where the idea of putting the main newspapers came up, to keep the person updated with reliable sources of information. That's also why the name The New Work Times came up. So the idea is that when the person has a short break or a long break, if he wants to be up to date with the news, he just has to click on any of the newspapers, he will be directed to the newspaper of his newspaper of the person's preference. Right here below we have the tasks field, which is basically a notepad where the person will write down the activities that he has to do during the day. Clicking on this button it opens a modal and here we can add a note, for example, 2 p.m., lecture CS50. And it already appears here. I'll give another example, 4 p.m., lecture exercise. And it already appears here. All the notes are saved in your browser's local storage. Here it gives all the settings, the title, the text and the id of this note. This is the project. I chose to do it this way because of the difficulty level. This mini calendar has a reasonable difficulty level. The Pomodoro is a little more complex, and the tasks field was also a little more complex to do. About the slides and newspapers it was basically all done in Bootstrap, so it was something simpler to do. I used as a research source YouTube, GitHub and Stack Overflow to be able to make the conclusion of this project. I would like to thank Professor Dived, all the staff team that developed and made this course available and that is it. This is CS50.